Let's talk about this because, I mean, the defense, Dennis Allen facing his former team. Of course, he was the head coach there. I mean, but it was big play after big play today from this defense. Multiple interceptions, Montez Sweat, the strip sack. Yeah. Jim, I want to start with you. What did you see from this Bears defense today, man?
I'm really impressed with Dennis Allen. He's given a lot of looks. Obviously, Montez Sweat got the party started with the fumble recovery there, the strip fumble. And then, of course, the other turnovers that are generated. But it's all by the defensive looks. I think since Kyler Gordon has returned, we've seen him blitz consecutively. You look at how he's using Jaquan Brisker up at the line of scrimmage. He's given some devastating hits up there on the quarterbacks. And I just think all the variations of looks. He's got his athletes out there now. And I think TJ Edwards has helped coming back too as well. So they're full strength right now, and I think it's showing. They're really starting to gel. They're coming together. They're playing as a unit. Really, the only drop-off was right before the half there where they gave up the big play and then coming out in the second half where they had a couple of letdowns that allowed the Saints to get on the board.
You know, Jim, 5-play, 91-yard drive at the end of the half. I think they nailed it in 45 seconds. And I'm thinking, boy, did the Bears make the wrong call by winning the coin toss, and instead of letting the Saints take the opening kick, they decide they want to take the opening kick because they want to take advantage of that Saints defense. By the way, going into this game, the last four opponents had scored on their first two drives, so the Bears thought maybe they could get away with that. They don't score. Again, New Orleans closes the first half, Jim, and you're thinking, oh boy, what's going to happen to open up the second half? Are they going to get in trouble?
I think it tells you what Dennis Allen is as a defensive coordinator. If you look at that play, that was one-on-one. That was Tyreek Stevenson. He was late coming out of his break because technically you'd think, hey, why not play prevent, right? What's the worst thing can happen? Don't give up the big play, right? And they give up the big play. It tells you a lot about Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator. He is going to stay aggressive, all right? They probably should have been in his own defense. He did not do that. He liked the way the defense was playing. He's trusting his players that they got to make a play. Tyreek Stevenson got beat on that particular play. But I think it's very telling about Dennis Allen. Hey, guys, I'm going to continue to call the game the same way. We're going after Spencer Rattler, and we're going to stay aggressive. And he did it all the way up to the end of the first half. So very telling on Dennis Allen.
Which is interesting, Pat, because Dennis Allen, up to this game, guys, the Bears were in the bottom quarter of the NFL and actually going after the quarterback and blitzing. But ever since they got Kyler Gordon back, I've seen that they've been more aggressive, especially with their use of Gordon and Brisker attacking the quarterback.
No, 100%. Listen, I'll say the biggest difference from week one, or from last week to this week, Spencer Rattler runs a 4.95. It's a little bit easier to catch that guy when he tries to get away from you, you know what I mean? Montez Sweat, I thought he looked phenomenal. I thought he was really aggressive. And I know it doesn't always end in sacks, and that's how we measure what your defensive end's worth is. But I thought in the run game, you saw a phenomenal game out of Montez Sweat. I thought Dominique Robinson got himself involved in a great way, and just how they were keeping Spencer Rattler on his back foot. You finally started to get some of those pressures on the quarterback. And, I mean, that last interception of Kevin Byard was all a result of being in the face of the quarterback. He throws the football way too high. Kevin Byard just comes in and gets an easy catch to finish it off. The pressure and the sack numbers may not be what we want them to be on the season just yet. You creeped up in a great way in today's game, but I think the biggest thing for this Bears team is the fact that for back-to-back weeks, the pressure numbers have been in the face of the quarterback.
Fourth straight game now where the Bears force a turnover in the fourth quarter. Fourth straight game as well where they've got 3 or more takeaways there. Jim, I want to ask you this. Montez Sweat, back-to-back games where we're seeing the Tez effect, but what are you seeing from him?
Yeah, I think, when I talked to him early in OTAs, he said it was a very complicated defense, a lot of calls. He had reached out to players that had played in the defense down in New Orleans, and he said, I was struggling. I was struggling to learn it. Some of the calls weren't clicking for me, but now I think you see the result. I think now having everybody healthy, together now with Edwards back and Gordon and all the guys other than Jalen Johnson, you see them starting to gel, and they're reacting a lot quicker. You just see how aggressive they are. To go 4 straight games, I think that's 15 turnovers in 4 games that they've created. that is a hell of a run in what they're doing. So maybe the sacks aren't there, as Pat alluded to, but it's leading to good results in turnovers of other parts of the defense. So you get 4 turnovers a game, you're cooking with gas, and they are really starting to gel. And Montez Sweat is really the straw that's stirring it right now.
Yeah, coming into this game, the Bears were blitzing at a top 10 rate. Spencer Rattler's actually been good against the blitz, against pressure. But Lou, how did you see Dennis Allen consistently bring the pressure today and continue to be aggressive?
Well, as I said with Pat, I just feel it's a more aggressive defense now that you've got T.J. Edwards roaming the middle along with Tremaine Edmonds, and you've got Kyler Gordon in the back. And I'll follow up on what you were talking about, Jim, and that was regarding Montez Sweat. This guy was confused that he wasn't putting up more sack numbers, at least at the beginning of the season, because he admitted that he's never worked harder in training camp or during OTAs, the off-season program. He was part of the off-season program, something that he hasn't been on a consistent yearly basis throughout his career. He's a guy that he hears, listen, he may tell the media that he's not listening to what, or hear what fans are saying on sports talk, or what talk show heads like Pat the Designer are saying about him, or what guys like Lou are writing about him, or Chris Kwasinski. But he hears it all, and he gets it. Hey, listen, he knows he's making $98 million. He's one of the top DNs paid in the league, and he needs to put up bigger numbers, and it's good to see it finally happen for Sweat, because he has worked at it this season.